Hello everybody, this is the second part of our Team Canada review for the Grand Final, the 20th anniversary. So we will speak about our DD2 and DD2 Masters drivers. We have 3 drivers in the DD2 class. First with David Greco from Ontario. It's going to be at his 3rd participation in a row.
Yep.
So for you, what can be possibly done by this driver on the track?
So I think every year we've seen a bit of a progression from him at the Grand Finals, and I've certainly seen it back home. Back here in Canada, he's not necessarily found it easier every year, but you can see the experience he brings from doing the Grand Finals races, the races in Florida and things in shifter. He's just progressing on as a driver. So this year I expect good things. Last year I think he finished 21st, but that wasn't really where his speed showed. He could have been battling in the top 10. So I think if he brings the potential of what he had last year with a bit more experience, we could be solid fighting for top 10. And when you're in the top 10 in a big international race, quite often a track like Sarno, where the draft's really important, you could see anything happen if you're fighting inside the top 10. So I'm expecting good things from David. And if everything goes really well, maybe we can even fight for a podium.
We have also Isaac Merritt from Ontario. You know this driver well because you saw him all summer long racing. So.
Yeah, so Isaac, I've actually done some coaching with him in the past, about 3 years ago in Briggs, and from that moment on, he's just progressed naturally, and he started racing shifter, DD2, and he's been in and around the top results every year sort of thing. And this year he's put everything together. He's managed to qualify for the Grand Finals, and again, for somebody like Isaac coming to their first event, it could be a bit overwhelming because of the size of the event, the number of drivers and so on. But having worked with him in the past and seeing his demeanour around the track this year in the Coupe de Montreals, he never really seems like he gets too flustered. So I assume that he'll be able to focus really well, and he's always very similar pace to David as well. So if those two can work together, and because that's an important thing at a Grand Final, is working together, your teammates trying to share data and so on to try and get yourselves both towards the front, or the 3 of them towards the front this year. So yeah, if he can match what David's doing, he should also be fighting in for the top 10 if everything goes well. But once again, when it's your first event, I think it's always just a good goal to make it to the final. You make it to the final, stay out of trouble, and then from there anything can happen.
And the 3rd drivers in DD2 will be from Alberta. It's Noel Dollar. Don't know if you ever race against him or see him racing.
I think I probably saw him racing when I first moved here. We went to the WCC back in 2012. But yeah, obviously I've not seen too much of him over the last couple of years, but I know he's got a huge experience behind him right now with the NASCAR racing and so on. So I don't think the event will necessarily overwhelm him because he's got a lot of experience. Again, if he can work well with Isaac and David, and they can share data and share setups and try different things for each 3 of them, then I think we can have another good DD2 driver fighting in the final, and hopefully fighting his way towards the front of the field.
For the DD2 Masters class, we have 2 rookies at the international level.
Yep.
First is Alexandre Gauthier from Quebec. So introduce him to...
So I know Alex very well. He's been racing with us for 2 full years, shall we say. He started 3 years ago at the last race in the Coupe de Montreal in Tremblant. His first ever race when we had 26 DD2 drivers on track, and he qualified 2nd. And his first ever race, first time in Tremblant, he'd been there, done like 4 sessions the day before. So he's a guy that's got a natural talent to be fast, and he's taken it more and more seriously as the years have gone on now. And he's been in and around the top of DD2 Masters, shall we say, in Eastern Canada. And fortunately for him, Etienne Lassalle couldn't take the ticket this year, so Etienne passed it on to him. So he's going there to have fun and enjoy himself. But I generally think he could surprise us. Again, I'm repeating myself now, but if he can make it to the final, your first event, anything can happen. But he'll be going there having fun and enjoying himself, and I think that's the best attitude to take at that sort of level where he's at. Is let's go and experience this for this 1 year, and then next year we'll make a real attack at what we can do.
Especially for the Masters, because they're really there for the passion, because they have a real daily job, and they're not there to start a career.
Exactly. That's maybe one thing he needs to work on is try and get rid of his cell phone, because he's always on his phone working when he's away at racing. So at the World Finals, hopefully we can get him to put his phone away, and then he can concentrate on doing the job of when his helmet's on and racing.
And the last driver is Jared Freeston from Alberta.
Yep. So I've never seen Jared race, but I've been following the results of the WCKC this year, and he's quite often quicker than many of the DD2 drivers. So if he can be quicker than the DD2 drivers in Europe in the World Finals, he'll be in a great position in the DD2 field, DD2 Masters field. So yeah, again, if those two can work together, enjoy themselves, and go with no real pressure and have a relaxed attitude to the event, I think we should see hopefully two DD2s in the two DD2 Masters in the final. Again, you need sometimes a bit of luck in racing. You know, we saw last year with Etienne Lassalle, he was confidently making the final and got involved in somebody else's crash, and all of a sudden you're not in the final. So if they can both work together, both stay out of trouble, then we could have two happy DD2 Masters in the final come the Saturday finals day.
Last time the grand final was presented in Italy, in Sarno in 2016, Canada won the Nations Cup.
Yep.
So do you think that's something possible for this year?
I think so, yeah. I do think so. Maybe we don't necessarily have as strong of a team on paper as we did back then. But you never know at an event like this. You never know at all. And it all depends on how people adapt to the track, adapt to the event and so on. And ultimately, you know, if we make everybody makes the final, then we could do really well, hopefully, in the Nations Cup. Maybe not win, but if we're finishing in the top 5, top 3, we can get ourselves back on the podium with the whole team, which would be a good thing again.
Thank you. So official session will start with qualifying on Wednesday, October 23rd. You can follow, of course, Team Canada on Rotax Max Challenge Canada Facebook page, and also you will have the live broadcasting of the event on the Rotax website, which is rotax-kart.com, or just make sure to visit our Facebook page, and we will have a lot of links to this page to follow the action. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.